Welcome back to Evoke Creativity with me, Tammy Collins. Today we're going to do textured animal print Christmas cards. Um, First, I have to apologize. We had a very unexpected event occur, and it's been a difficult challenge this week. We lost our beloved Judy girl dog, and she was only 3 years old, and it was very unexpected. So things went a little haywire. So you have to forgive me a little bit for that. But I've been working on this to share for over a week now, and I thought, what a better way to do some more holiday work that I need to do, but to also give you some insight into some DIY Christmas stuff that you can use to unlock your creativity. And it also helps to evoke creativity in the people that you give this to. And so what I'm going to do is combine a couple things that I love. I love texture, and I love nature and animal prints. And so I wanted to incorporate that into Christmas cards and just have a little bit of a different feel that was much more indicative of me and my style. And so that's what we're going to do here. I basically cut a piece of paper. You could do one large piece of paper and tape it off into sections. In this particular case, I was running low on paper, so I just cut it up and used up some of the scraps that I had. And these are roughly 4x6 in size. And I'm taping off a very basic triangle here that will be our Christmas trees. And then I'm going to use some textured modeling paste, and we're going to use a couple of wild print stencils. I have different sizes of these. These ones are a little bit smaller that I got just on Amazon. It's a pack of stencils. And then I have some that are a little bit larger. The smaller stencils work better because the pattern is a little bit smaller and tighter, so the scale's really nice for the tree. However, I think these other ones worked and came out perfectly fine. So the first one we're going to do, the first one we're going to do is this sort of giraffe print, and there's the modeling paste that we're going to use. And I'm just putting on some of the texture in the stencil, and then I'm going to come back in and actually apply some more texture to those shapes. And basically all you do is use your knife and push it in and pull it up so it creates high spots and low spots, and then you can just gently scrape over it, and it will give each of those shapes their own texture, so it begins to feel much more realistic, and you can do that real simple in one fell swoop without having to come in and do a whole other technique. Now this one, I'm using this to feel like sort of like jaguar spots or something along those lines, and this one over here I'm using to get the zebra effect. And this one is a little bit more challenging because it's large and I've got these so close together. And I wanted to have a bit of an interest in the pattern and the lines of what would be the sort of zebra stripe. And then I'm just adding a hint of texture into those stripes, just ever so slightly. Okay, so I put that off to the side to let that dry because it's a modeling paste, so it needed to dry. And I'm just using some watercolor in some Christmas colors, red, green, I have two different shades of green actually that I'm going to use here, and just a hint of purple. I just wanted to get some color in there. I wanted to feel Christmassy and not necessarily like a traditional animal print. These are really fast and easy to do. And I just used some cardstock in a craft brown color, and made cards and envelopes real quick to coordinate with them. And what I did here with these is that because these are just individual squares, I just glued them onto the craft paper, but you could just have done it right on the card. It would make it a little bit more challenging because of the way you would have to tape this off. And so I wanted to keep this super simple, so I'm just using watercolor, and I'm just putting in some color. I didn't want it to be super crisp, so I'm just being a little bit random in the way that I apply it. I'll let this dry, and then I'm going to actually repeat it again because I want to get a little bit of depth and sort of shadows and highlights within the same color so that it's not super flat. How's your holiday preparations going? I know this is always such a chaotic time of the year. If you're here watching, I thank you. Even in all of that chaos, we still need to, address our creative needs. And for some of us, that is just watching videos and being inspired. And I do really have to apologize today. I'm really, it's been a very sad couple days, and I'm struggling to sort of move past it, so I probably sound a little bit off. I'm struggling with my words a little, and I apologize. Our pets are so special to us, and it was very unexpected and very quick. So I'm just coming back in here with a little bit more, adding a little bit of red in there. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with that, but I'm just playing with it. Putting in just a hair more watercolor. I do have to say I really like the way these came out. I have some other animal print stencils. I have a snake skin and a crocodile skin and what would be sort of like a cow, and I would really love to do a whole series of these. This could be really great. Really much different than what you're going to typically find too, if you're looking for that different idea. A million people are doing these little Christmas trees and sort of watercolor, but I thought how cool would it be to do a texture, but not only do a texture, do it in an animal print, which is not something you traditionally associate with Christmas. So I let this dry again. Now I've put a couple layers of watercolor on there, and you can kind of see you're getting a bit of variation in the density and opacity of the colors there. And now I'm coming in with a pearlized watercolor, and I'm just kind of hitting some of the high spots. I just wanted to sort of glisten a little bit and give it another layer. This didn't have quite the dramatic effect that I wanted, so I think I'm going to come back in with some gold gilding paste. We love that stuff. So this did help, and it was a nice touch. And when you see these in person, you can kind of see that there. It looks really nice. This one in particular is sort of like cheetah or jaguar spots or something along those lines. So I'm coming in and adding just a little bit of dark to make those elements pop out a little bit. I don't want them to feel super specific, like they're, like I'm trying to be authentic in the spots, but I wanted to evoke that immediately when someone looks at it. And I thought this just needed a tiny bit of that help. Just adding in a little bit more. First I added in some brown, and now I'm adding in a little bit of black, and we'll put a little bit of black highlights on some of the other one. I'm trying to keep these loose and fun and free and not hyper specific. I don't want them to be take an exorbitant amount of time. I want them to feel special and unique, but not sort of like a masterpiece, if that makes sense. And so there I was just putting a little bit of brown. I wanted to sort of settle in some of those crevices that we created. And now I just want to sort of highlight these stripes a little bit. They need a little bit of highlight. And then I'm just spreading that with some water just to help it along a little bit so it's not so abrupt. Yeah, there, that looks really good. Now now I'm using a Tombow marker to just kind of come in and give some shadow lines so that they feel a little more realistic and pop out. I know this looks a little confusing because I chose to use this striped green tape, but I chose it for a reason because it's like a vinyl washi tape, and I knew that the texture would have a harder time sticking to it, so when I go to pull this, it'll make a nice clean line. I know right now it looks a little visually busy maybe and hard to see what I'm doing, but wait till you see what happens when I rip the tape off. And so now on this one, I'm just highlighting some of the crevices, the nooks and crannies, if you will, that we created so that it feels a little bit more textured. And at this point, I'm really liking how this has come out, but I want to just add a little bit of gold because it is the holiday. You know, you want to feel a little bit more special. So I'm just going to use the gilding paste and a knife and just gently, ever so slightly hit some of the high spots, and it's perfect. It's the absolute most perfect addition here. I put so much pressure on myself around the holidays. There are so many things I want to make and do and give to people as gifts because that to me is the special nature of the holiday. The thought that you're giving the person and the gift that you're doing and the time that you put into the gift. And, you know, they really appreciate and understand that. It really makes gift giving so special. And for me, that's what it's about, is the thought and the person that you're, you know, preparing it for. Okay, so this is gonna get a little bit messy because when I pull the tape, it's you know, it's like vinyl, and so it's gonna sort of crack the clean line there, and you're gonna get all these little tiny, you know, dried modeling paste scraps, if you will. So you'll see what I mean. So I'm taking them off. You'll really see it on the next one because there's some pieces there. See how they're like there? You can see them. It almost looks like confetti. So I'm just going to rip off all this tape and then I'll get the loose pieces off. And on this one, I used masking tape. This masking tape, you know, I love tape, but I really need to get a painter's tape. You know, I really struggle with tape that doesn't pull paper. It's really a difficult challenge, to be honest. I haven't really found anything that works perfectly. This vinyl washi tape works very well. So I kind of went into it knowing that I would probably trim these down a little bit more. So if that's how your tape is, just plan for that. And this would also be really cool to do one large card with multiple trees on there. That would create some drying issues. You'd to have to plan that out a little bit better and like do one or two, let them dry, and then come back and do another one or two or three or whatever you're doing. So I just put a little watercolor down there to make it like the base of the tree. And I'm just going to use some black gelling to sort of outline it a little bit. And I really debated here if I wanted to use more of like a Posca marker or a thicker pen, but ultimately I just decided I just wanted to hit it with the ink a little bit. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you think of this, and be sure to like the video. I'd love to hear about any Christmas traditions you may have. I can tell you I think I'm winding down with any Christmas related videos. And I'm going to be getting back into much more of the fun, creative art projects that I want to do on this channel. You know, the whole point of this channel is just to share what real creativity time looks like. It's not always perfect. It's not always, you know, sometimes it goes wrong. Sometimes things don't turn out. I actually did another Christmas card experiment, and it really went haywire, and I just stopped the whole process. I didn't think there was any value in sharing how that turned out, but you never know. So getting the tape off here. It's a little bit fickle. I am going to be doing a lot of future giveaways. I do a lot of coloring pages and things of that nature. I make a lot of unique planners, color swatches, and all kinds of great things. I'm going to be releasing a whole series on my process of combining my award-winning interior designer skills with how I put together my studio on almost literally a no-spend budget. And so if you want to stay informed or get any of those types of information, go over to the description and fill out Your Creativity Matters. So I had a little random ink spot there, and I'm just adding some gold metallic dots just to give it a little bit more fun. You could put a star on here. You could do all kinds of things. But I'm really glad you're here. I've wanted to do this channel for so long, and I'm still finding my legs, if you will, and getting used to it. But here's the finished cards applied to the craft paper. They look absolutely fantabulous. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, I just make these cards. I love to do the paper stuff, so I have a day where I'll make cards and envelopes and all kinds of stuff. So I have a stock of stuff that I've made. If you know of another great YouTube creator who does some great Christmas cards, drop that in the comments. Let's support each other and share, and I'd love to see them and connect with them. But thanks for watching Evoke Creativity with me, Tammy Collins, and I will see you next time.